Small-sided games are known to greatly increase the number of contacts with the ball, the decision-making skills of the player, with decisions happening more frequently, more goal attempts, more fitness, and more fun within a practice setting. In fact, box lacrosse should be viewed as a small-sided game relative to field lacrosse, which is why so many of the best field lacrosse coaches recommend box lacrosse for skill development, because of all the extra reps you get. Manipulating the size of the playing area and the number of players, which greatly affects intensity, shift duration, number of shifts, technical and tactical considerations, exercise type, and the amount of coach encouragement have all been shown to significantly alter the physical and technical demands associated with small-sided games. The ability to perform technical and tactical requirements under fatigued conditions should also be considered vitally important to team success. It is of paramount importance that practice design and small-sided game implementation should be performed with precision and careful consideration of the training objective. Small-sided games should simulate the physiological workloads and intensity commensurate of actual gameplay. In practical terms, 30-second shifts with 60-second rests, with box lacrosse being a 1-to-2 work-to-rest ratio. Small-sided games have shown cardiovascular stress and training adaptations comparable to generic short-duration intermittent sprint training, with similar effects as 6 and 12 weeks of interval training in youth players during a competitive soccer season. It has also had a positive effect on both the anaerobic and aerobic systems during in-season breaks, where no games are scheduled. All that considered, games should still be closely monitored to prevent players from overreaching and overtraining. An over-reliance on this training method may mask specific weaknesses within a player's profile and requires stringent control and standardization of influential factors. To set up a small-sided game in box lacrosse, arrange two teams equally on both sides of the restraining line in one or both ends of the floor, depending on numbers, with the players facing into the defensive/offensive zone. On one side of the restraining line is Team 1, and on the opposite side is Team 2, making more creative names for the teams in good fun. Referees and 20-second shot clocks are optional. Goalies are also optional for 3 versus 3, with 3-foot by 3-foot nets and 8-foot creases, recommended for young kids. If 3-foot nets are unavailable, turning a 4x4 net upside down is another alternative. During gameplay, if at any point the ball is near the restraining line, the players not in the drill should be encouraged to, quote, bat the ball back into play, helping establish good flow in the game. Variation number 1 is the classic 3v3 version, where you move the nets against the sideboards halfway between the goal line and the restraining line. The first 3 players in each line on each team enter the drill, starting with a face-off or a loose ball dumped in by the coach. If it's a loose ball, have players enter from the defensive side closest to their goalie. Alternatively, this variation can be performed 2v2 and 1v1, depending on the purposes of the coach. Shift lengths can be timed intervals, or coaches can have players line change on the go or on the fly, as we say, which means without stopping the game. Competitive lacrosse practices will often culminate with 4v4 play and 5v5 in one or both ends of the floor, which is variation number 2 of this drill. Generally, coaches will first establish a, quote, clearing line, which defensive players must run past if there's a turnover by the team on offense before they can attack the net.
Whoever gets it is on offense. You have to clear it past the blue line.
After the defensive team crosses the line, they are then able to take the ball to the net for a quality shot, as they are now on offense. The offense and defense can reset if the team uses the offense-defense transition system. Otherwise, change lines if that's the transition system that the team uses. Play can start with a loose ball and a timed shift length, or coaches can have players line change on the go. Another option is for players to play offense, defense, then rotate out of the drill, depending on numbers. Variation number 3, soft lacrosse, is great for a physical education setting and/or a culminating activity after introducing the game to a new group. It is the same as either of the previous variations, except if 3x3 nets are available, play with an empty net. Play then commences as 3v3 or more depending on space, and no goalie. Trapping the loose ball determines possession of the ball, which we recommend as a high-density foam ball. And there is no stick or body contact permitted, and a 1 stick length safety bubble around each player, which if not respected should result in a penalty shot awarded to the opposing team. All of these safety rules allow for a version of the sport that can be played with no protective equipment. Players are then only allowed to carry the ball for up to 5 seconds, or otherwise they lose possession, signaled by a referee's whistle. And there also must be at least 1 pass caught during the gameplay before being able to shoot the ball into the open net to score a goal. Another option is the nets can be removed, with 1 player per team being in the crease at all times. And goals are scored when players pass the ball to their teammate in the opposing crease, at which point that player comes out and the passer goes in. Variation number 4 is the motion offense game. Play a game using the motion offense up to 20. Teams try to connect on as many give and goes, off-ball cuts, on-ball down picks, or on-ball seals as possible. And if/when they get a quality shot off, a point gets added to their score. If the shot is a goal, that team is awarded 2 points to their total score. As previously mentioned, manipulating the technical and tactical rules, otherwise known as constraints-based training, is another technique used for small-sided games, which is the case in the next few variations. Starting with variation number 5, the pass over the line rule. Nothing changes from any of the previous variations, except if a player runs the ball over a real or imaginary clearing line instead of passing it over, the other team is awarded possession of the ball by the coach. Variation number 6 is the 5-step rule, where if a player takes more than 5 steps, the other team is awarded possession of the ball by the coach. This rule could also be applied to a full floor version of variation number 2, similar to Ultimate Frisbee. Let's call it Ultimate Lacrosse. Variation number 7 is the everyone touch rule, where all players on the team need to touch the ball before a goal can be scored. Variation number 8 is the consecutive pass game. This game goes up to 100. Teams can string together as many passes as they want, and if/when they get a quality shot off, that number of passes gets added to their score. If the shot is a goal, that team is awarded 2 times their consecutive pass total, again playing up to 100. Variation number 9 is the defensive stops versus quality shots game, where coaches score a game between 2 teams with 10 to 20 seconds on the shot clock, up to 20, where defensive stops and quality shots both count for 1 point and goals count for 2, with 10 to 20 seconds on the shot clock. Variation number 10 is the pick and roll game. Play a pick and roll game up to 20 in variation number 10A, where teams try to connect on as many pick and rolls as possible, and if/when they get a quality shot off, a point gets added to their total score. If the shot is a goal, that team is awarded 2 points to their total. The defense can be given a half point for a successful defense and a full point if they clear the zone, the assumption being that teams are using the offense-defense transition system. In variation 10B, the same concept could also be applied for seal and rolls that create a quality shot, or not. At the end of the day, games in practice are an alternate modality to generic drills and generic training methods such as interval sprints. Such drills do not offer the same motivation or enjoyment for the players. Certain players are also engaged best through competitive elements of certain games. Utilizing tactful games in practice, players that are not skilled enough to get all the quote glory of scoring goals in league play get the chance to demonstrate their unique skills and feel a better sense of self-efficacy. Coaches are free to be as creative as they want and involve games anywhere within their practice plans, as long as there is a purpose that is served. Any drill can be transformed into a game in some capacity. The reason could be as simple as to add some fun to the practice, to emphasize a particular skill, and most importantly, to disguise a cardio effect embedded in the format of a game.